to employee agreements. This next agenda item addresses the board's open session discussion and possible approval of the first amendments to the employment agreement for the executive cabinet, including Superintendent Dr. Stowe, Deputy Superintendent Dr. Butler, the Assistant Superintendents of Human Resources, Mr. Hernandez, Education Services, Dr. Isaiah, and Student Services, Ms. Sinfield. The purpose of adopting the amendments is to apply the salary increase to each of the contracts to reflect the salary increase agreed upon between the district and TTA, CSEA Unit 19 and 845, and other management employees. The majority of the material terms of these agreements remain the same and are only amended as follows with respect to salary, specifically including all executive cabinet contracts amendments will include a one-time off-schedule payment in the amount of $1,500, consistent with other employees in recognition of the increase to health and welfare benefits for the 2025 to 26 school year. In addition, all of the salary increases referenced below include a 2.23 salary increase retroactive to July 1st, 2025, consistent with the salary increases previously approved by the board for members of the Torrance Teachers Association, CSEA Units 19 and 845, and TUSD management employees. For Superintendent Dr. Contract Amendment, applied retroactively from July 1st, 2025, the district shall pay the superintendent a base salary of $363,868. Deputy Superintendent Dr. Butler's contract amendment applied retroactively from July 1st, 2025. The district shall pay the Deputy Superintendent a salary of $294,783. For Assistant Superintendent Human Resources, Mr. Hernandez's contract amendment will be applied retroactively from July 1st, 2025. The district shall pay the Assistant Superintendent Human Resources a salary consistent with Step 5 of salary schedule in the amount of $254,775. For the Assistant Superintendent Education Services, Dr. Isaiah's contract amendment applied retroactively from July 1st, 2025 through June 30th, 2026. The district shall pay the Assistant Superintendent of Education Services a salary consistent with Step 4 of the salary schedule in the amount of $247,355. From July 1st, 2026 through the end of the contract term, the district shall pay the Assistant Superintendent Education Services a salary consistent with Step 5 of the salary schedule in the amount of $254,775. For Assistant Superintendent Student Services, Ms. Sinfield's contract amendment applied retroactively from July 1st, 2025 through June 30th, 2026. This district shall pay the Assistant Superintendent Student Services a salary consistent with Step 4 of the salary schedule in the amount of $247,355. From July 1st, 2026 through the end of the contract term, the district shall pay the Assistant Superintendent Student Services a salary consistent with Step 5 of the salary schedule in the amount of $254,775. This concludes a summary of the amended terms of the Executive Cabinet's employment agreements. A complete copy of the first amendments to the employment agreements are available from the District Business Office upon request. And in terms of, at this time, I would like to take any public comments. I have a request to address the board from Carlos Antwater. Mr. Antwater, please feel free to come up.
Good evening, President Liu, members of the school board and cabinet. I'm Carlos Antwater, president of TTA. As you consider the motion before you now, I want to share some facts with you to keep in mind. Dr. Stowe received a 5% raise in July 2025. This exceeds the 3.89% received by all other employees in the same time period. So why is he getting this Me Too? Since 2020, Dr. Stowe has received 42.5% in total increases to his salary. In the same time period, teachers have received 23.73%. Funded COLA in that time has been 26.59%. This would represent Dr. Stowe's fourth raise in a 13-month period. Dr. Stowe's total raises since 2024, including this Me Too, are more than double the percentage of all other employees, 9.89%, as opposed to 4.89%. Dr. Stowe is already the highest paid superintendent in the South Bay. Teachers remain well below the median in total compensation among mutually agreed upon comparison districts. Dr. Stowe's new top salary, including all stipends and other enhancements, will be 6.4 times higher than a starting teacher salary, column 3, step 1, and 3.4 times higher than the top teacher salary, column 6, step 24. Since 2022, TUSD has invested almost $500,000 per year in raises for five top-level administrative positions. These are ongoing expenses that compound over time and cannot be spent in other areas of the budget. This vote will be a public indication of what is most important to you as a board member. This isn't about money, it's about priorities. Is your priority the unity and purpose of all your employees? Building a district in which we all, students, employees, and administrators, rise together? Or is it the appeasement of a singular individual, the superintendent? That individual, even if he is as transformational as you claim, cannot solve this district's myriad problems on his own. Our students need all of us. Neglecting the many while appeasing the one is a betrayal of stakeholders, especially our students. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Are there any further comments or discussion? Otherwise, I will ask for a motion and a second to approve the First Amendment to each of the reference employment agreements.
Are you gonna read each one?
No, not just, if
Just-
there is,
It's just this one, right?
It's
So motion to approve.
just one motion to
Motion to
approve all of it.
Motion to approve all.
I'll second that.
Okay, we got a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Seeing none.
Shame.
Item number 10.5, approval of district updates to board policy BP 5116.1 and BP 5131.8. First reading.
I didn't say anything. Sorry. I'm thinking. Sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Second. Sorry. Yeah. Um. I feel like I haven't had the time to fully think through everything. Can I abstain? I'll abstain from this vote.
Yeah, can we go back and say there was a,
Yeah.
can we go,
You did read out.
Mhm.
Say how many.
Yeah.
You got 4 yeses.
I got 4 yeses,
And
and then 1 abstain,
what? Yeah.
So before we.
and the meeting was disrupted.
Before we do the vote, then I think we need to have at least a recounting of. And maybe they'll watch it later, but it would have been nice if the people that are currently yelling outside had stuck around to listen to discussion and been here. And I understand. Okay, I'm glad you're here. I can hear you. I think that doing this without a little bit further discussion and explanation of what's going on is a little bit of a disservice. The idea of everyone benefiting together is important. And it's the reason why we negotiate in the way that we do with bargaining units. It's the reason why everybody gets a Me Too across the board, even bargaining units that don't have a Me Too specifically guaranteed. So that was part of the discussion, and this was a long contemplated item. This was part of the discussion when the contract was initially done, and it was something that was inadvertently left off of a previous contract where it's historically been there. Their superintendents before have historically had this. And so in an effort to be fair to everyone, even though the numbers are what the numbers are, it does nothing to lessen certainly my appreciation and my reverence for the work and the role of the teachers. It is my goal in the future to raise all boats as much as we can. And I've had this discussion with multiple bargaining units. I've had this discussion with multiple individuals of, I don't view this as a competitive process or an antagonistic process of there's only a certain amount and we have to fight over it. I look at it as it should be interest-based bargaining where we all have a commodity that has to be allocated to everyone and we all need to work together to do that in the fairest way possible. And I'm not discounting emotions. I'm not discounting people being upset, and I understand that and I appreciate that and I welcome it. I'm happy to have these conversations. It doesn't make me happy, but I encourage it and I want to have those conversations. And if you want to come yell at me, please. If you want to come talk to me, please. And we'll have those conversations. But in an effort to be fair, this is why, at least for me, this is why I'm voting the way that I'm voting, because it was previously contemplated and because it would already be there, but for inadvertence. So that's that from me.
Again, was there any further comments or discussion?
Yeah, President Liu, I have a comment.
Yes, Dr. Mohammed.
Well, thank you for allowing us to have a discussion on this item. So the truth of the matter is, and it's a difficult item because it's never easy, even for you and for when I had to do it last year, reading out salaries, and it's a difficult process. I've had conversations with members of the association expressing their views. And for me, the truth is, when we were in negotiations, as Trustee Zieglebaum mentioned, we did agree to a Me Too for the superintendent's contract. That's a fact. I don't think anybody on this board will disagree with me on that, or with Trustee Zieglebaum, as he mentioned. Somehow that was left out, and that needs to be corrected because that is something that we agreed to. So, with that said, that is also a long-standing practice in this district to offer Me Too for our administrators and all of our associations. Previous administrators and superintendents also received this as well. And our current assistant superintendents, as we just saw, they have it in their contract. So it's not anything different. Additionally, unlike other superintendents in nearby districts, they are either on a salary schedule or some receive performance bonuses tied to evaluations. Dr. Stowe does not receive any of these. He's only entitled to a Me Too that we agreed to back in negotiations. And that is what essentially I'm uphold to honor that commitment, because that is the agreement that I had with him back in when we were doing negotiations, and the whole board did as well. The Me Too also is extended to other associations that don't have it in their contract, because that's the practice of this board. For example, SEIU, now correct me if I'm wrong, SEIU, do they have a Me Too in their agreement? They don't. Seeing heads nodded, no. But we do offer it to them as well, because we want to remain fair and consistent and have that practice across the district. And that's really what is forming my decision here. It's a difficult decision because it's not going to make certain people happy, but it's a decision that I need to make, and it's for these reasons why I'm making it. Thank you very much.
I wanted to add just one more caveat is that, and I think I've said this in multiple facets, is that I'm not locked into past practice. I respect past practice. I use it to inform my decisions, but I'm analyzing everything independently. And so there will be discussions, and that's one of the reasons why we looked at this item and we brought it back. And so we took some time to do that. Is I will spend the time to analyze things independently to see if they make sense. And notwithstanding everything that Trustee Mohammed just said in terms of what's happening in other places and other districts, that will inform my decisions in the future too. So, like I said, I appreciate the thoughts and I appreciate the discussions and I welcome them.
Any, again, for the third time, any other further comments and discussion?
So I just want to say I appreciate my my fellow colleagues here, because I think that we all agree on that, we all made that intentional effort. And again, it was already decided right beforehand, and we just wasn't written down. And so that's why I do appreciate. Again, I guess what I was trying to say here is that we don't want to say that it's not because we value less or value more. You know, I think that's a kind of a false distinction for me. We just felt like we did what was best for everyone here, and so. And so that's why, again, as my colleagues mentioned, that it's not an easy decision, obviously, and it was not easy to hear the readout either, right? And so at the same time, and we understand your perspective, right? But at the same time, we felt like this was the right thing to do. And so, but thank you just for coming and for sharing. And obviously, I know you're disappointed. I know that people are not happy about this, but again, we felt like this is something that we had to do and something that was the right thing to do for us.
Yeah, just to explain for myself, I was like in late pregnancy and just had a baby, so I'm like feel like I haven't fully wrapped my mind around it. And I've mentioned in the past before, I'm a little bit confused as to how like the people who are involved in negotiations get their Me Too. It feels like a conflict that's like always felt like a conflict of interest to me. And so I think I wanted to abstain because I don't feel full confidence right now in my understanding of everything.
So with that being said, if everybody's done, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to
Yes.
step on you, President.
No problem. I concur absolutely with my colleagues. So what did you want to say?
With that being said, I'll make a motion to approve.
Second,
All in favor, say aye.
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 Any nay? Any opposed? Any abstention?
I abstain.
Okay, the motion carries with 4 ayes and 1 abstention. Item number 10.5, approval of district updates to board